Right, what is up, everybody? Today we're going to look at the results from last week's league and this week's league and both of the challenges from the weekend. And as you might know, we had some big bans 10 days ago. So, Mystic Sanctuary and Expedition Map were banned, which has impacted the metagame a lot, as we will see. So, I haven't looked through all this list very detailed yet, so I'm gonna just do that now. Can actually go to full screen I think as well. See. Right, I think it's fine. Okay, so this is the leaks from last weekend. So some of these lists might be before the bans happened. We'll see. This is just a regular Stumpy. I'm just gonna go through them all and see if there's anything specific. Okay, so here we got the Adoptera with Jessica Ephemerate. We might see the same list from him in another page. We'll see. So he uses the power of Thriving Isle to build a better mana base. This deck was very popular when Astrolib was legal, but it's been not so played since then. So you can use the power of Ephemerate and Archaeomancer to loop spells, and it can also build up like a lock with counterspell use every turn. It's also using 3 spells to the sprite. They're probably good versus aggro decks, I would imagine. And a lot of decks using one CMC cards right now. He also has Stonehorn in the sideboard for aggro decks. Looks pretty cool. And I think this is a deck we can see a lot of going forward. Okay, this is some kind of boggles. I think this guy actually won the challenge. We're gonna see it in yeah, okay. So yeah, we're gonna look at that in the next page. Right, so what's this? This is mono black land destruction. And what's catching my eye here is the lurking format. So you can pay 2 and tap it and look at your opponent. You can basically survive the opponent's top card. So what this can do is that when you're destroying their lands, you can start looking at their top card and just kind of remove all the lands from there, which is pretty cool. Other than that, it's pretty standard mono black control list. So yeah, here's the file. I'm not sure if all the mono black control list has the file or mono black land destruction, but the file is a very good and cost efficient card, even though he's only playing 13 swamps. Oscar Franco on the Amora special Black White Pestilence, nothing really exciting there. Oscar Franco also has the first Tron posting after the Expedition map ban. He chooses to, instead of playing the Expedition maps, he's choosing to play 3 Preordain, 1 Crop Rotation. Also going for mana base with 5 islands to go with the Preordains instead of a lot of Cave of Temptation. He's also choosing to play 1 Bojuka Bug because of Crop Rotation, so you have easier access to that versus decks like Storm or well, the Waltz needs the Grr sometimes, and some kind of combo decks. Tudrin of main, yeah, pretty standard except for the new Preordained Crop Rotation package. Then we have Wesleyan with this is Fangrin or like Chromatic Tron without Expedition. Oh, sorry, it has Expedition map. Okay, then that deck isn't really legal anymore, so let's skip that. Then we have some Sliver, pretty standard Sliver with the 7 sorceries. Okay, Burrows. This is a Tron list before the bans, so let's not go through that. Wall list. This is a new deck also. This has Sanctuaries. I think we're gonna just look at the next slide. I think this deck is going to be there as well. Get Blue Black Delver, this before the bans. One Black Control, Order of the Even Hand, Pro White, plus it first strike. This probably is an aggressive card that has Devotion instead of Witches, I would assume. This is more like mono black aggro, I think. Yeah, he has Solar Spite as well, some burn. Probably good versus burn. Okay. Forest Metalcraft of 1 mine is very cool in here. Easily castable for 2 mana. This is before the bounce. Forest Bully, burn, for the bounce, Delver, mono white heroic. Okay, here we have something. So this is HSGC. He is playing, I guess you can call this Snow Go. So he's only playing 4 creatures, and his win cons are either attacking with Orgar Bolas, it is Lightning Bolt, I would assume, or Sprout Swarm. You can buy back it to get a 1/1 for the cost of 5 with Convoke. So what this deck is trying to do, this does have Sanctuary, but I think I saw on Twitter that they thought this deck could still be viable. Um, this deck is just trying to play lands every turn and pass, and just try to beat whatever the opponent is playing. It might be Counterspell, Deprive, like play Square the Lightning Bolt on a creature, or use Teachings to build up. Also draw cards with Bonders. It's a pretty cool deck. This is the one of the decks I want to try in the coming weeks, for sure. Then we have Pathetic Winds with 4 Goblin Grenades, pretty nasty against. And then just, alright. We're moving on to, let's see. Okay, this is the Saturday Pauper Challenge, which start quite early for Americans, so this is mostly Europeans, I would assume. It was won by Rollister on Blue-Red Fairies. So let's see, what does he have? He has 17 creatures, one of them being Moonblade Shinobi. I haven't seen this card in Pauper, but I guess it's decent. Just bouncing the sprite is like Ninja of Deep Hours. He also chooses to go with the Accumulated Knowledge package to get some card advantage now that Sanctuary is gone. Other than that, it's pretty standard. He uses one double bounce land and also uses 2 tap lands, which is interesting choice with the spread. Manu Goduni, I don't know how to pronounce that. He's been using his very own blue-black Delver list lately. He uses 8 fetches and 12 basics. Then he has a lot of 4-offs. Like Force Glued, 4 Stuff Out, 4 Counterspell. Like 8 Counterspells in this deck is quite a lot. But this deck is looking very consistent, and that is one thing I really like with it. This is also a deck I really want to try out. He first used this deck with only mono blue, but now he's moved to blue-black. Because I guess he wants the angler. Like more aggressive, and also Snuff Out is a really good card if you don't care about lifesteal. Carves with the 3rd place, blue-black control, or blue-black Delver. Pretty standard, I think. Miscalculation instead of Deprive because Sanctuary is now gone. Then a standard stomp list at 4th place. We have Is It Fairies with Frantic. So it looks like the list is like cut Tragic Lesson, Deprive, and Sanctuary for Frantic inventories to have some card advantage. Then we have Standard Affinity, Oscar Franco again on the same list that we saw earlier. Tron with the 3 period and 1 crop. Stumpy. Then we have Black White Pestilence, Amora Special. Then we have Pirate Familiar. Interesting. So with Sanctuary gone, Familiar had to do something else, and I guess Not Good chose to play the pirate to make infinite mana. You can, if you have Flicker and Archaeomancer, you can loop this and you get infinite mana if you have 2 familiars out. Pretty cool. Yeah, I think this is kind of how familiar is going to look now without Sanctuary. Also have Inside Out in the sideboard. I talked to Satan Rock and he said this is for like walls. There's a lot of cards having just 0 power in Pauper, but especially walls. Okay. Affinity, Stumpy, Burn, walls being at 14th place. I think this is a pretty standard walls list, so I'm not going to talk a lot about that. Another Stumpy. Lots of Stumpy looks like. Sorry, I'm going to mute that. One White Heroic. CSTR with Burn. Blue Black Delver again, using Mental Note and Thought Scour. I guess this is more like Blue Black Delve. Also one Sultai Scavenger. We have 1 Elves, choosing to play the 7 Sorcerers, then triple points of Basswood main. That's interesting. It's a lot of protection. Boggles. Usually not a lot of interesting lists in the challenges, but this is a new take control. Let's see. So without expedition maps, he's going for double preordain, 1 crop rotation, 2 impulses, also 1 rejuvenator. Using 5 thriving lands, 3 islands, 2 caves. Okay, interesting. 1 lightning bolt in the sideboard, but that's pretty normal. I do think preordain, like from the list I've seen, preordain seems to be the way most people go. Preordain plus crop rotation. I think I have a league started that I'm gonna play after recording this. Let's add that to Terra's list. Okay, so Lobo, he's the same. This is very similar to Oscar's list, I think, with people preordain 2 crops, 4 islands, 2 caves. Okay. And once again, accumulate knowledge when the Sanctuary is not in the format anymore. Matthias Sponsaneo, he goes with a triple preordain 1 crop. I think this is Oscar's list again. Alright, here it is. Here is the called 8K blue-red control, or 8K Scred or something, or 8K goblins. So this deck is using both the accumulated knowledge and frantic inventory to draw a lot of cards. And you can also reuse these cards with Devious Cover. This deck is trying to play Goblin Wizardry end of your opponent's turn, and then just go ham with these goblins. If you let this card resolve versus you, you're gonna have a bad time. Like, the goblins just get so big and you draw so many cards with knowledge and frantic. This is similar what like Raptor played a few. I think it was Raptor, or maybe it was Lobo played with Flurry of Horns a few years back. But the Wizard is so much better. It's both instant and the goblins is better than the Minotaurs. So this is also something I'm looking to test. This is similar to Snow Go. Like you just play your land, pass, and you do everything in instant speed. Except for Augur and Preordain, of course. Alright, we have some affinity. Blue, black, fairies, interesting. From Mama. He's been playing Blue Black Delver for a while, but I guess she shows us to play the Ninja Sprite package and double Angler to have some more pressure. He's also using the Frantic Inventory now that Sanctuary is gone. Yama Killer with his affinity, and then 1 more Black Control, and then 1 more 8K. I do think this is the same list. Right, moving on to Pauper Challenge last Sunday. So first place we do have Boggles. I do think this is a pretty standard Boggles list. So let's have a look at that. So Adoptera, he finished second in the Pauper Challenge with Tron. I do think this is the list I have started in the league and I'm gonna play after this. So he goes for the 4 Preordain, 4 Impulse. no crop rotation. He is also a fan of the reaping plus Weather of the Storm instead of his pulse. I also really like the combo. Because he doesn't have crop rotation. Well, like I do think this mana base just could fit with crop rotation as well. So it's one Thorn Falls. I could see this being a thriving, whatever the green one is called. Triple Island, 2 caves, 2 Stonehorn, so 4 fogs. Game 1, then adds 2 more, or up to 2 more. Pretty cool list. Yeah, right. Mathonical, he played the it's been called Bilzatron or Monarchtron. Doesn't play the Monarch anymore. Hey Escol, good to see you. I'm just recording a YouTube video here. So we have some value creatures and just trying to ramp up and then kill your opponent with Carrick's Torch. Big difference from this deck compared to Adepto Terrace is that you don't have any kind of loop with the Demonic Wall, but you do have a lot more removal with Journeys and O-Rings. And you have Prismatic Strands, which you can use like 2 times per card. And also have a finisher in Carrick's Torch. I don't think Adepto played... No Rolling Thunder there. And no Dinner of Horror either. Oh, that was a Rolling Thunder, yeah. That's the way to finish. Yeah. Let's do... Okay, I'm gonna see the chat now. Yeah, it looks like a bad combo of Boros and Tron, Ice Cold says. That's true. Alright, we're moving on. I have is Burn. Nothing special really there. Boros. Okay, this is also a very new one. So this was the deck that Birdman or Entropy 263 he created last week. Both me and him ended up playing it. I finished like 25th, but he finished in top 8, which is really cool. This deck's also using the power of Flicker and Ephemerate to rebuy creatures and mostly Archaeomancer to create these loops that gonna win your game if it goes long. And you have a lot of value creatures that are cost in Oracle, Muldrifter, Sigit, and you can also use it on Stonehorn to prevent combat. This deck uses Temporal Spring as well to create a lock with Temporal Spring. You can start putting lands on, let's say you play versus Stompy, you can start putting lands on the top so they won't be drawing any relevant cards. This deck also using the power of Throwing Isle to use fixed colors very easily. I did not feel color screwed when playing this deck a lot. The sideboard is pretty mixed with some dispels excluded for like the Tron matchup, some Blue Mental Blast, and yeah, we have Weather Main for Burn. Burn is a very good matchup for this. So Escol is asking, I like it, but I'm still asking why not just run Tron. I do think Entropy wanted to play a more fun deck, and I just wanted to try it as well. I do think I will still be playing a lot of Tron, but this deck is viable again as well, I think. And this can be Tron. Temporal Spring is very good with Tron. Yeah, pretty cool deck. I hope he keeps working on it, and we'll see what happens with it in the future. What is this? Or this is Yes Guy or 4-color Ephemerate, I guess. Yes, Echoing DK and Diabolic Edict. This is Snow Go, I would say, or Yes Guy Ephemerate. Still using the power of Thriving Lands to build the mana base, and Ephemerate plus Archaeomancer to create loops. Dark Yes Guy, yeah, that's the name. Yeah, pretty cool deck. Stumpy, some affinity. Boros Monarch, Boros Bully. Very diverse metagame. This is Yes Guy Ephemerate. Lobo with the 3 period and 2 crop. Same list as he played the day before that we just show you. Bully, Silver, standard list. as I said, not a lot of inventions in the challenges. Modern Monkey goes with the 3 preordain and 4 impulse, so pretty similar to Adepto Terra's list. Walls, be walls. This is me. Same list as Verb. Frantic inventory in Is It Fairies, as we have seen before. Sarlanga uses 2 preordain, 1 impulse, 1 crop. Okay. A lot of just like personal preference, I would say, in Tron. This is elves with 1 repeal and 1 syncopate. That is unusual. But Zodiac knows what it's doing usually with elves. Some old guy uses a because this is familiars, and the win con is Sage Row. So when you have like double, or when you have like 1 wall and 2 familiars, you can use Loop an Island and mill them out with Sage Row. Then we burn Amoras with this Pestilence 4 creature deck, and Hysen that chooses to play 4 preordain, 4 impulse, so I guess Adopt Terra's list as well. Or very close to. Let's see. Yeah, very close list, as we'll see. Hysen has more instants, less creatures. But quite similar. Alright, so last in this video we are going to look at this week's league, which probably which won't have any banned cards. So let's start off with Black-White Pestilent by Parallax. He uses more creature than Amora, and still uses Bonders. So this is, I mean, we've seen this deck before, but it's just Bonders plus the older, more creature-heavy Black-White Pestilence deck. Interesting. He Who's in the Water, very surprising to see him play Tron, but he chooses to go with a very creature-heavy, 15 creatures. That's a lot for Tron nowadays. With the 4 preordain, no crop rotation. 1 piece. He's playing 1 Capsize. It's been a while since I saw that, but it's a card I really like, so we're gonna try this list as well. Dismantling Blow is a very versatile card versus artifact or enchantments. Yeah, cool list. Tron is going to be evolving for a few weeks, I think, before we are settled on a specific list. Raptor with a 5/0 with Rainbow Familiars. I do think this deck wins by milling opponent with Compulsive, which could take a lot of time. But I guess he is fast on the deck, so he knows what he's doing. Could also win by just killing with Muldrifters. Infinity, Monarch, Silver, and Nathan P is playing. Yeah, this is a Jeskai Ephemerate as well, or Foracle, Dark Jeskai. As Ace Cold said, Dark Jeskai Ephemerate. I think this is also a deck that is going to be good moving forward. Okay, Aura Power. This is a brew. So this is very similar to the mono black control list I have on my channel, my YouTube channel. But he is also playing blue for preordain, for Think Twice, and for Curse of Bloody Tomes. It's like a new Wincon in the deck. He also has a lot of tap lands to fix the colors. This deck could probably splash the Thriving Lands to splash more on the sideboard. That seems necessary. This Curse of the Bloody Tome is a really cool win con, I think. It looks like an interesting deck. Not sure if it can beat Tron, but I would like to try it for sure. Elves. By control. Oscar Franco is doing very good right now. He shows the frantic inventory. This might be actually the list from the challenge with Moonblade Shinobi. Bully, Bumpy, Raptor with another 5-0. This is banned familiars. So pretty much a blue at familiars, but with Prophetic Prism, Forest, and Anonymous Piece. So probably is better versus aggressive decks. Black Control, Labor 2, so with Burn. Carves playing. This is also Spice Bomb. This is blue-white Tribe Ephemerate. So you can either use Kill with Tribe, just fast and from nowhere, or just have the long game with Archaeomancer. Very spicy list. Going to be interesting if this is a deck moving forward. Black Delver, Raptor with his, I think this is a third 5-0. He goes with the triple crop 4 impulse. This is one of the lists for Tron I really like. From the looks of it, I do think impulse just seems very good. Now that Expedition Map is gone, just as the 7 tap lands, which seems better with impulse over Preordain. Pretty nice list. I'm gonna bet it for sure. They have 4 Goblin Grenades, Riddick Wings, Elves, Walls, and the last deck is Jeskai Ephemerate. So we've seen a lot of Jeskai Ephemerate. We've seen Tron lists evolving. Delver and Sprite lists. It's moving away from Sanctuary, of course, because it's banned, and chooses to play Frantic Inventory or Accumulated Knowledge. We've also seen the 8K deck, as it's called, with 4 Frantic Inventories, 4 Accumulated Knowledge, and use the Goblin Wizardry to just create a win con from that. So blue is not dead for sure, Tron is not dead for sure, and it's going to be very interesting to see where we are going moving forward. This was it for this list, this week's lists. If you have any comments, please leave them below in the YouTube comments. And if you want to see me stream, you can follow my stream in I posted the link in the comments. And also follow my Twitter if you want to see when I stream or post videos. So that was